This chicken shawarma has 49 grams of protein and is made in 20 minutes. I will start with one skinless boneless chicken thigh. Chicken thighs have more calories than breast, but most of them are stored in the skin and the fat. So I will carefully remove the skin with a knife, and also I will try to remove these pieces of excess fat that are on the edges. The meat in itself weighs 130 grams, the removed skin however weighs 33, so we reduce the calories by 115 just by removing the skin. So as you can see, chicken thighs are a perfectly viable protein source for weight loss as long as you remove the skin. I will cut the entire chicken into 5 to 6 bite-sized pieces. Next, let's add some flavor. For that, I will place a bowl on a scale and add in 50 grams of non-fat Greek yogurt. You can also use plain skyr, and then I will add half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of paprika, quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper, quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of salt, and about 15 cranks of black pepper. I will mix everything, dump it in my chicken, and stir this until everything is coated with the marinade. Now, you can marinate this for about an hour or two if you want, but I tried this several times, and especially when using thighs, there is not a huge difference between marinating or not, so I will just skip this part and straight get cooking. First, I will add a parchment paper on top of a baking sheet and add a rack on top. The parchment paper is there for the dripping fat. I will also spray some oil on the paper towel and add it on top of the rack. This will help prevent the chicken from sticking. Now place the chicken on top and bake it in a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 F for 15 to 20 minutes until they start getting brown spots, and yes, you can also use an air fryer. The cooking time will be a couple minutes less. In the meantime, let's make the flatbread. I will make a super easy dough. Into a bowl I will add 50 grams of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of baking powder. Mix it and there you have your homemade self-raising flour. Now I will add the same amount of Greek yogurt, or again plain skyr, about 50 grams, and start mixing. I will also add a bit of olive oil into the dough. This will help making the bread slightly softer and add flavor. Take your hands and start mixing everything, and you will see that slowly but surely everything will turn into a dough ball. You need to mix and pick up the rest of the flour from the bottom of the bowl. If the dough is too wet, you can add 1 teaspoon of flour and keep mixing. After about 2 minutes, you will have a dough ball that will be slightly sticky like this. Add it back into the bowl and let it rest for about 5 minutes. As the dough is resting, I will make the sauce. For that, I will first slice cucumber into fine pieces. This weighs about 50 grams. Then I will chop up 50 grams of tomatoes, and also I will dice a small yellow onion. This weighs 30 grams. Lastly, you will need a bunch of fresh greens. I would highly recommend using mint, or if you want it less sweet, parsley. This gets chopped up as well. Now, into a bowl, I will once again add 100 grams of Greek yogurt. Then I will add half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. Mix everything, and now I will add the cucumber, the onion, and the fresh greens. This sauce in itself is amazing as a dip for grilled chicken. I make this all the time right now. Set this aside and let's make the bread. I will take my biggest non-stick pan, 28 cm or 11 inches. Then I will spray a tiny bit of oil and add in my dough ball. The stove is still switched off. Now with my fingers I will press this down and work my way around the edges, flipping every once in a while, and keep pressing until this formed a round flatbread that will cover almost the entire surface of the pan. You can also do this old school with a rolling pin, but not everyone has one, so this is an easy alternative. Now switch the heat onto medium and let this cook for 30 to 45 seconds, and then flip it and just repeat this for 3 to 4 minutes until the bread has a nice golden brown color and is crispy. This will take you about 3 to 5 minutes in total. So let's make the shawarma. First I will spread half of the sauce in the middle of the flatbread. Then I will add half of the tomatoes and now spread the entire chicken on top. That should be done by now. Now add the other half of the sauce, the rest of the tomatoes, and roll this thing into an amazing smelling chicken shawarma. The entire thing comes in with 564 calories, 55 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat, and 49 grams of protein, and I'm telling you, the taste of this thing is absolutely incredible. I'm loving this right now. Click on this video to see how you can make the Greek version of this called gyros, and see you there.